Yo, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a lovely day or night, just as I am having a pretty chill morning myself. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. Whether you're new here or not, I just hit it a couple of days ago. It's crazy to me. I didn't think I'd reach it so soon or even really ever in my life, but here I am. Anyone watching, supporting, subscribing, commenting, all of that, truly thank you so much, and I hope I can just keep being here, being an entertainer and all of that. I'm very thankful for y'all. Let's talk. Let's talk about something that unfortunately a lot of us may struggle with: making friends, finding friends, wanting friends. We need friends. There were some hard times in my life where certain friends really came through for me, and if it was for them, I don't really know how well I'd be doing. I'll be honest. Nowadays, I don't really talk to anyone necessarily. I'm still, close with some buddies of mine. Things change as we get older, and as we grow, just friend groups kind of shift. And there's a lot of different variables of looking at it. But before jumping into my talking of words and sentences and all that, I have a quote for us, and it goes like this: I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people who make you feel alone. Now, that right there is something I definitely used to resonate with, especially. And as a kid, it was really just hard for me to make friends, and kind of hard because I didn't have a dad by the time I was like 6. So I never really got to see the power of committing and all of that. And I think people can relate to me. I think some people who only have like one parent can also relate, or even both. It depends on the parenting, if they're good people or not. Like, really how you were raised kind of just, it's how you're gonna turn out in life. Like, for the most part, for the 90%, truly. But it is up to you to kind of just change that and break the barrier. If you feel like you can't really talk, or you kind of feel like, oh, I don't really have the skills, occasionally you might meet someone. Like, I met a couple cool dudes, right? I mean, I kind of initiated it, but the energy was just really right. It was just chill, and it's kind of what I'm into. I kind of just want to chill, and I don't really want to be like a bunch of other people, and kind of like some friends around me, they just kind of just want to get messed up and constantly do some crazy stuff that could, low-key get them arrested or just even leave this earth. I definitely do love doing crazy stuff, like, cool stuff. I like exploring abandoned places. It's been a while just exploring like abandoned parts or like kind of deserty areas where there's nothing around. It's really cool. It's a bit scary, but when you're with like the right group or even by yourself, which I've done, it's like survival mode turned up. But yeah, back to just like me. I struggled with commitment so much, and sometimes I still can. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting way better. I've definitely gotten a lot better. As a kid, it used to be worse. I mean, my schoolwork, going to school, and even just feeling the need to talk, dude, it was rough. I've always felt like an outcast, and I still kind of do since I'm more sheltered, but it's because I choose to do so, because I realize a lot of things in life, like a lot of people and interactions in life, like a lot of small talk it's just mundane and a bit pointless. Sometimes you might have a genuine small talk with someone that could high-key just change your life, and I've had that plenty of times, or I should say a handful of times in my life. And anytime I think of like a small talk, I just look back to those, where it's always some old dude or some old lady, and they just give me advice or like motivation, and it's like they're not even trying to sometimes, and it's always insane. And that's like the small talk I actually love. None of that NPC stuff. And it's kind of hard to find friends, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, depends on where you live. I live in a small town, just don't really care. Like, everyone here isn't really into what I'm into. And that kind of sounds like a bit weird, or it might sound like I think too highly of myself, but no one's really has the same interest as me, when it comes to making videos or writing, even music. I mean, I have a guitar, but I'm a bit of a rookie. I can't even play anything besides one song I made, and it's just 3 notes. But yeah, like, besides that, like, no one's really interested in what I am. And I think that's what gets harder in life, especially if you don't go to school. If you do go to school, it could be easier to make friends, that's for sure. I mean, if you're watching this and you're going to college, or you're still in high school, whatever. Well, with high school, it's a bit different because you're kind of just like forced to be with everyone, so that's why you're always hanging out. But it changes so much once you graduate. And then with college, you could be surrounded by people mostly studying what you're studying to be, so that can kind of start up a connection, maybe not. Depends on you, depends on the person. If you're a partier, there's definitely that, but I'm not really into that. When I actually lived in Seattle, I used to live right by the university, dude. dude. I was literally right there, and I was by all these frats, all of that stuff. And you know, I'd walk around the neighborhoods, I guess, the streets, and just got like the energy, like a lot of these people were just screwing around, and they're not really genuine people. And see, that was an interesting time in my life, because not only did I see that and feel like, okay, I live in a big city, so there's a lot of people my age, and there's a lot of dreamers and people kind of wanting to do things with their life, but it was hard to find them in my environment. But I met a couple of really cool dudes up there. But yeah, when I lived up there, you know, I remember just laying on my bed, and I could hear like that loud music playing from a party, and I'm just staring at my ceiling, just there alone, and wondering, dang, like I kind of felt like one of those moments where I just didn't really have friends. I mean, even my friends from back here, they didn't really reach out to me. A couple of times, a couple people did, but usually I was the one to initiate it. And it was kind of just one of those times again where it's just, I kind of felt like it was me as a person. I'm like I truly felt like an outcast. I guess that's why one of my favorite lyrics goes like this: I want new friends, but they don't want me. It used to be my favorite song around that time, and like late 22. It's pretty ironic considering around that time I was skating and hanging out, tons of different friends, and then just a bunch of random people. But ever since living up there, I know that whenever I look for friends, whenever I want to find friends, I want to find in them what I find in me. Like, yo, do they rock with the music? Are they into like video games, casual or competitive? Because I'm like a both, depending on the game and genre. That's when I woke up, basically. And if you're watching this, perhaps you're waking up. To find true friends in life, it takes a lot of work. It is as if I am on a boat in the ocean, sailing across to different lands, looking for other warriors, those who have the same interests as me, and to those who are actually there. There's definitely a lot of people feeling what I feel. To find a close and genuine group of just cool people doing what they love to do, but also just enjoying life as much as they can, again, without constantly getting insanely drunk, depressed, or problematic. That sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? I know some people like that dramatic stuff, but me personally, that's just a waste of energy, and it just kills you. So stay away from all of that negative, bad stuff. This makes me think of this one dude I used to know. His best friend was that Pillsbury Doughboy, like the one on the croissant little thingies, cinnamon rolls. And this dude would legit get these mannequins and cover them with dough. He put like the outfit on and everything, like the little hat and the scarf. I think he's a hitman now. I don't know. He probably died on a mission. If so, rest in peace, Big Dump. And yes, that actually is his name. Big Dump. That's his legal birth name. But besides that goofiness, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. And I think this was a video where I kind of got to explain myself using my, I guess, techniques of looking for friends in life, and all the discoveries I made from just being around a lot of people and environments. Because of all of that and what I've experienced, I get to see, okay, like you got to find friends who are just there and you can trust and you can depend on. I guess a huge thing is really share the same interests. So if you can't find friends, well, this could be your first step to finding friends. And I'm just someone that really doesn't like having a lot of friends too. So if you're like that, honestly, congrats, because having a lot of friends, it just sounds very draining. But if you can do that, that's also cool. But besides that, I really appreciate you, whoever's here, for watching. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you once again, 100 subscribers. And yeah, take care and have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. See ya.